Lads, I've burnt my head.
Good.
What a great way to start the podcast. But you know, like my missus is doing all this skin stuff on me.
Mate, how many skin treatments are you having here? Like, what's this one? Burning lava on your face.
Well, she said she basically gave me this cream and put it on, but like it's acid. And she didn't tell, like, there's only a certain amount of stuff that you're meant to put on. And I put it on a couple of days ago, and my face is in absolute bits. Like, does it look red to you?
Yeah,
you know, there's a little two-letter word you can say to your missus when she asks for that, and it's just no.
I know, but yeah, I want to look younger, Tank. You know what I mean? I want to look younger. You know, if it revitalizes the skin, because see, being a scouser and all that back in the day, Tank, I was a bit fond of an old sunbed, wasn't I, Jim?
Oh, no. we didn't mind the sunbed, us, lad.
Yeah,
Fucking,
actually,
you know what,
you were just as bad as me.
I've never been in a sunbed in my life.
You've never been on a sunbed?
Never been in a sunbed in my life.
Here's a story for the listeners. Jamie, obviously we loved the sunbeds we did back in the day.
And which story are you telling here?
Just Jamie's, for those that have never seen Jamie without a top on, which is few and far between, he's got a mole on the back of his body. Right. And obviously he was nailing the sunbed, so he's worried about it. So he's like, right, what do I do? So he used to use a sock to cover the mole up while he's on the sunbed to protect him against the UV light.
Yeah, and I had like a white patch, just a white patch where my sock had been. Yeah, that was not the best move in the world. Lads, how was your weekend? Tell me what you're up to. Tank, did you do much?
No, mate, it's just fucking football and just a nice chilled weekend, really. Ruined by shit football watching Liverpool.
Oh yeah, we're not actually going to talk about Liverpool today because they depress me. I think there's many more. They don't depress me. It's just a boring, drab game, and actually, there's nothing to talk about because it was genuinely one of the most boring games I've watched in a long time. So I'm not going to put the listeners through that.
It was peak Roy Hodgson Liverpool.
It was just mid-table dross. So yeah, not exciting at all. Jim, what about you, mate? You've been kicking off on any touchlines?
No,
this weekend?
Fairly quiet actually. It was a good weekend. Archie played at Mansfield, and as I said, my mum and sister came to watch him for the first time ever. So that was nice for them to come and see him. So
did he get more nervous with him being there?
He didn't have his best game, to be fair to them. So they're doing that 3v3 thing again, which is awful, lads. I hate it, and I was losing my head.
Again?
Yeah, not as in not to the coaches, just with the kids. Well, with Arch, mate. Well, no, I mean, bit of both.
You all right? Is everything all right there, Jim?
No, it's not. And then he was playing that first, and he wasn't the greatest. And then my mum went to the toilet. Now my mum's quite slow. She's not the most mobile of people. It took her ages. And he scored a mint goal while she was in the bog, and she never saw it on the bigger pitch.
No.
So he did score a mint goal, a little dribbly goal that she got to score. So
did either of you watch the Tommy Fury fight?
I wanted to, but I couldn't find anywhere, and I think I was asleep as well.
Yeah, I tried to get links last minute. What I will say, Tank, is I'm glad I never paid for it. It was what you would expect it to be. To be fair, I'm actually glad that Tommy Fury won. To be fair, and it was comfortable.
If you heard about the BT thing, the issue with the ad?
No, go on.
It went off the last round.
Did it?
You're joking.
Everyone lost thing in the last. Yeah. I've looked on Twitter, just searching. I was pissing myself laughing. Went off the last round. So the end of how many rounds was it?
Eight rounds.
So the last rounds, yeah. Just coming out for the last and final round, and bosh, it went off. And I've had this with BT before me personally because I love the UFC, so we record it.
Yeah.
So I get up on a Sunday morning, fucking coffee, sit there, and you've got like the bar, like like the viewing bar when you fast forwarding it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So if it goes over, it just goes. So you don't see the fucking the head fight.
Do you know what's funny? I have that exact same problem with Love Island. It's not quite the same. You know what I mean? Genuinely, if we record Love Island, it gets to the end of the recoupling, and if it's on record, if it's skipped over past a certain time, it'll just turn off, and you're like, no.
Click off, yeah.
That's
what's happened with the fight last night. People paid 20 quid for it.
Oh my god, yeah. There's you watching the UFC, and then there's me fuming over Love Island. Absolutely, lads. You're not going to be proud of me here. I wasn't going to tell this story, but I may as well. played in our over 35 semi-final on Friday night.
Let me guess, sent off.
Yeah, but would you believe, right? Would you believe it actually wasn't my fault?
It never is.
It
Genuinely never is. Honestly.
No, but actually, I know I've said this in the past, but it genuinely wasn't my fault this time.
Can I just ask you something? Did you get beat?
Yeah, we got beat football.
So, Jimmy, do you notice there's a pattern here, Jimmy?
I do not.
And he got sent off, and there's no clips. We've had no clips.
I do not believe you. I do not believe that it wasn't your fault.
I swear to God, right?
Someone said something, you've reacted. So it's
no,
your fault.
I haven't. And do you know what the most annoying thing is about it? The manager had said to me, look, they were an annoying team, to be honest. I played against them before, and they'd be like, look, they'll be out to wind you up. Just keep your head. And I've been trying to keep my head all season, and I've been actually doing well at it. And I tried, and I was actually flying, like no issues. I'd been punched in the back of the head. I'd been stamped up. Like they were trying everything, and I just laughed and whatever. And it was... we battered them anyway. They scored 2 spawny goals. We were 2-1 down. It was 10 minutes to go, and we were all over them. The ball went out of play. And it was actually where my son and my daughter were sat because they were watching. Literally, like, lads, it couldn't have been worse. They were like 3 yards away from me. Like, sterling example of a father here. And the ball bounced out. And then one of their players went to, like, try and grab the ball off them, which did annoy me. Now, I'm not going to lie, that did annoy me. But I didn't react because obviously, like, I could see the whites of my kid's eyes. So I'm like, I'm not going to do something stupid. So as he walked back on the pitch, I stood in front of him and didn't move. And then, like, he did this thing where he nearly ran into me a bit and did like a pirouette around me and made it look like I'd threw him on the floor. And I swear to you,
you threw him.
No, I didn't. I wish I did now. Yeah. I wish I did now. But he like flew and then let out this sound and then started rolling around on the floor. Anyway, like everyone started like laughing at him. And the ref kind of pulled out a card and I thought he booked me. And I was like, that is the most ridiculous yellow card I've ever seen. And then I looked again and I was like, what? I was like, you sent me off. And then our manager was going mad, going, ref, you weren't even looking at what happened. You just seen him rolling around on the floor and assumed that I'd done something. So then sent me off or whatever. It didn't obviously react, just went off. And then he said to me after the game, yeah, sorry about that. I can only give what I see. And then our manager was like, but you didn't see it. He said, well, yeah, I know, but did you see what the lad was doing on the floor? And I was like, so what? You literally admitted that he basically gave it because this guy jumped on the floor. So of all my red cards over the years, that is genuinely the one where it wasn't actually my fault. So yeah, we're out the cup. Hate football.
Yes, my over 35s game, I got a hat trick.
Did you?
Yeah, lad.
You need to be pulling out hat tricks with white boots on, to be fair.
Just a hat trick.
Well done, Jim. Yeah, thanks. So you love football. I hate it. I'm not playing anymore. That's it. I'm taking my ball home. I'm done.
Although I did do my ankle scuffing the second one in when we left.
Doesn't matter if they all go in, lad. Sounds like every shot I've ever hit. Tank, you got a bit of grief, would you believe? Well, not grief.
I've been getting the grief.
What you've been getting? Yeah, but that's justified for you saying Notts Forest. We've been through this.
I know, but I just feel like I need to explain why I said it, and I've been getting grief left, right, and centre off everyone.
Well, you won't do it again now, Jim. So we're all
never
again.
Where am I getting grief?
Well, not grief.
Because you're a prick.
He won't mind me calling him out. So we have a long-time listener who took objection to your lack of credit for Manchester United. So before I raise some of the points that he raised, I put out a tweet last night to see, would the listeners think that you would be prepared to give Manchester United credit on today's podcast off the back of them winning their first trophy in a while? And the response was an overwhelming no. They do not believe that you are prepared to give Manchester United any credit. So what are your thoughts after Man United won the trophy? Any credit for old Ten Hag?
Hang on. Aston Villa at home and they were bottom of the league. Burnley at home, who rested the entire 11 because they're fucking romping the championship. Charlton at home. Ooh. Nottingham Forest over 2 legs, who were resting players because they need to win games. And Newcastle in the final. Fuck me. Wow. Could you get any easier than that? Look, I've said it and I'll say it again. Manchester United are still an okay top 6 side at the minute, right? This man's Man United side, if they went toe-to-toe with Liverpool and Man City last season, they would be absolutely annihilated, not even anywhere near it. I'll give Ten Hag credit, and I've said this many times on the podcast. What he's done, he's come in and he's rejuvenated the club. They're all pulling in the same direction, and that's exactly what you want as a manager. He's done superb in that. They have. They got the most informed footballer in world football, who somehow, like, I've never seen anything like it, where he's kicked the ball into the floor, it hit his shin again, it hit a defender, and then it bobbled up in the air. And, like, let's just bring things into perspective. Manchester United are getting such a run of luck at the minute. It's off the charts. How that goal wasn't given disallowed as well, by the way. I mean, it's like the VAR people are like, let's alter the lines for Man U. It was the same against the goal against Leicester. They're offside. That's offside. And then all of a sudden you're like, how's he onside? But that regarding, they're having a really, really good run of luck at the minute. They're having a really, really good run of games. They've got the most informed centre forward or left forward or right forward in world football, who's dragging them to results. Lads, it was backs to the wall for 90 minutes for Man United yesterday. Newcastle dominated the possession, and that's a team who can't score goals. Yes, I give Man United credit, but if anyone thinks that Man United are back to dominating world football, you're fucking round the bend. You're round the bend. They're a million miles from it. Plus, they spent 300 million, by the way. Let's not forget that. They spent 300 million.
So I, as the voice of reason, I'll come to you, Jim, or a voice of maybe balance. I try to look at this objectively. We said it last week. I think Ten Hag's doing a really good job, to be fair. I think they needed to get the monkey off the back. They got the monkey off the back. They won a trophy. I remember what it was like with Liverpool over those years, with those, the bleak years, and we were getting nothing. And it doesn't matter how that first trophy comes about. Once you get a bit of silverware, winning becomes a habit. It's the first building block in the next stage of writing their own kind of history. And look, I hate saying all this because I'm a Liverpool fan, but I have to say credit where credit's due. You got to, all they could do is win football matches. And what I would say about Manchester United, they've become experts in getting results. I don't look at Manchester United, and I think this is what you're getting at, Tank. I don't look at Man United and go, they're a seriously impressive team. I don't get blown away watching them. I feel like they're efficient. They do get a bit of the rub of the green, but that happens in football. Liverpool went through a bit of a purple patch where, but goals were going in off people's asses and all sorts. It just happens. You make your own look in football when you got a bit of momentum. But what I would say is, I think United are a results football team. They find a way to get results. And I think with the Rashford thing, you could say that about most teams, when they've got a quality informed striker. But I have to think you've got to give massive credit to Martinez and Varane, and in particular Casemiro. You talk about the impact that Rashford's had going one way, but Casemiro's been like a one-man midfield half the time. And as much as we've spoken about Martinez and his height, and I did look at him when he come in the league and said, he might struggle a little bit early, with how physical the Premier League has been. But Jim, there's a number of players there you got to give huge amounts of credit. And look, it was a handy enough draw, but Man City have perfected the art of the easy draws over the years. Man United must have paid the same people an hour bung to make it their turn.
Thing is, mate, like you say, you can only beat what's in front of you. Now, fair enough, you're absolutely right. And I saw someone put something on Facebook, and I kind of agree with him. In that Casemiro's transferred Man United in the same way that Eric Cantona did when he came to Man United. He's sort of galvanised that team, got them, world-class player, and got them playing how they should be playing. And they've built that team around Casemiro, and he's been absolutely superb. But like you say, there's, a lot of things go unnoticed. People like Dallo, who couldn't even get in the team under Mourinho, and Van Gaal. And now he's been transformed into one of the most informed right backs in the Premier League at the moment. So,
got took off half-time sub yesterday.
He might. I switched off at half-time myself, mate. To be honest with you, I thought Newcastle were really poor. And yeah, I thought. But okay, apart from yesterday, but as a whole, the team's been playing pragmatically and getting the results they need. Look, Conte and Mourinho have made careers out of this type of football, and they're hailed as world-class managers. Ten Hag is building this team to play how he wants them to play. And no, the first thing he had to do was stop the rot, and that's what he's done. Regardless if you're playing Burnley, Leicester, you've got to play them teams. You've got to play them teams, and they're still third in the league, chasing down Arsenal and Man City, who, Arsenal have got the rub of the green with fixtures and like they didn't have an extra fixture in the Europa Conference or whatever Europa competition they're in. So fair play to him, and that's the first trophy in 6 years, mate. That's some going.
What would it take, Tank, for you to what would be a turning point for you to say, actually, these are a proper outfit again? Because I think
they're not. That's my point, Jamie. They're not a proper outfit.
They are.
They're in games. Go on, sorry.
I was going to say, mate, let me put you on the spot here, right? So this come in from long-time listener, and actually somebody's opinion I would respect when it comes to United. He's a United fan, but he knows the stuff, and he's not one of those, kind of blinkered fans who would just argue for the sake of it. He made a couple of points, right? So he said, third in the league is a fairly true position. But Man United have the most points in the league since the first 2 games and have beaten City, Arsenal, Spurs, and Liverpool. Now, they've also then beaten Barcelona. Whatever you make of them is a separate debate. But you can only beat the teams that are in front of you. You then look at the likes of Shaw, Casemiro, Martinez, Varane, and Bruno, who have all been equally as important to Manchester United as the Rashford comparison that we were saying before. And then, suppose when you said last week, and this isn't like a hatchet job, I just want to get your opinion on it.
Get him, get him.
But you said last week, you were like, well, Liverpool are going to improve, Man City are going to improve next year. Man United are probably going to improve as well. I think that's the thing. This is the building block for Manchester United now, where it's like, okay, we've got a trophy. They've got a bloody good points haul in comparison to what everyone else is doing in the league. And we know with confidence Manchester United will always spend. So if this is the first step on the ladder for them, and that's all that Ten Hag can really do at the moment. It's monkey off the back. It's trophy. It's shown progression. They've got leaders, experience. There was a thing there yesterday where I actually loved it. And again, I hate saying this as a Liverpool fan. See Casemiro bollocking Fernandes for not passing the ball. That's what United have missed, is someone like that, which is like, don't rest on your laurels. No nonsense. I like Ten Hag pulling Rashford out the team a few weeks back where he turned up late for the meeting. Doesn't matter if you're the most formed. All of these little micro wins or little tweaks, I think has built Manchester United into a very stable, solid football team without sprinklings of brilliance. I don't think, as we said, they don't play amazingly expansive football. I think they play counter-attacking football. And with Rashford, you're always likely to soak up attacks and be able to spring away and get a goal. But when you think of all those things that Gareth said in response to last week, do you think they deserve a little bit more credit, or what would have to happen for you to get that next kind of step on the ladder?
I think as I said, keep saying, Ten Hag's come in and changed the mindset of the club. He spent a fortune, boys, and his signings, they're not amazing. You've just named all of the players who's turned the club's fortunes around, and a lot of them are already there. Casemiro, that's not like a genius signing. This is someone who's won 5 fucking Champions Leagues at Real Madrid. He's on £500,000 a week. He spent
but that is in comparison, I suppose, to the narrative of one-man team Rashford. If you've got Casemiro, irrespective, it cost a lot of money. But ultimately what they've done is they've cherry-picked a winner, plonked him in a problem area, and he's pretty, like, didn't he say in his interview, he was like, just tell him I'll fix it. That's what he basically said before he joined. Just like, just tell him I'll fix it. And he has.
He's been an amazing signing. He has been an amazing signing, right? And I'm not, I think he's an unbelievable player. But if you're looking at long term, he's not your answer. If you're looking to build this dynasty, Casemiro's not your answer. You take Rashford out of that United team, he has much, much more of an effect than taking Casemiro out of that United team. Put it this way, if you had an option, Liverpool are playing them on Sunday or Saturday, right? If you have an option where you don't want to face one of them, Who are you choosing? You don't want to play against Rashford or Casemiro. It's fucking Rashford all day.
Yeah, Rashford gives me nightmares because he's
Exactly.
brilliant at what Liverpool are weak at, and he always exposes us down that left
Point.
channel.
Now, honestly, I believe that they're taking a massive advantage of a big decline in a lot of clubs at the same time in the same season. That's my point more than anything. Yes, he's done a good job. In fact, he's done an outstanding job. He's exactly what United need. Someone who's going to stabilise it. And, the trophy is, that could push them on. And if they get new owners, which I'm not too sure they will, because there's rumours that the Glazers now don't really want to sell it, the two brothers. They've asked for 1.2 billion more, which is not like small change. I'm just not convinced by it, and that's the whole top and bottom. I watch United, and maybe we're blessed in the time, but we're not blessed because we're not United fans. The old United fans are blessed. I've played against the great United side. These are nowhere near that level. You listen to Roy Keane yesterday saying, look, they've played okay. They've won a trophy. They've had a lot of luck this season, a hell of a lot. This is not a turning point for me of Man United to go on to the next level and go on to huge things. If Rashford's form dips, and he will have a dip, you've got this big dope who plays up front for them who can't score. Is he going to save them? Is he going to score the goals? Martial has never been a goal scorer. They got the fidget spinner who's the biggest flop in world football. No one mentions it. There's a lot of questions what need answering first for me to go, Man United are back. And I'm telling you now, Man United aren't back.
Jimbo, if you were to say now, Manchester United, if we look at this team, because I think it was actually Sir Alex Ferguson, I was watching an interview and he was saying that he actually sees Marcus Rashford better from the left, doesn't like him as a central striker. I agree with him. And he said that they need to basically share the burden of goals, and they rely too heavily on Marcus Rashford, and they need to go and get a striker. With them being a lot more tight now in terms of you back Man United not to concede a huge amount of goals. They can see out games. They got horrible leaders. Martinez will fight you for a 2 pence piece. Do you know what I mean? He's just that type. They've got Varane. They've got Casemiro. They can see out games. They've got experienced players. If you got a proper number 9 and drop them into that Manchester United team, that could be a real catalyst for them. No,
that's got to be number one priority as a world class 9 or 10. Because
I've always thought that Kane would go there, and I don't know why.
I think he's too old now for me. Not that he's old, but I just think.
Now,
do you think he'll stay at Spurs now?
I don't think he's got. If it was
pay the money what he wants at his age,
yeah, they're going to want big money. They're going to want big wages. There's no issues, but I think there's better options out there. For me, I think their number one target will be that Osimhen from Napoli.
Yeah,
big, strong, what Lukaku should have been doing when he came to Man United at the time. If Man United don't go and break the bank for him, then they must have someone else in mind. But to be fair, and again, credit to Ten Hag, he's brought Weghorst in, and he's not going to score you goals, but he has allowed Rashford to shine, and he's got Garnacho to mould into a player. He's got Jadon Sancho, who's barely featured, but when he's come back, he scored goals and assists. You got Anthony, who's getting acclimatized. If he can get him going.
Jimmy, come on.
No, you were doing all right up until Anthony.
I'm not saying.
Acclimatized.
I'm saying if he can get a tune out of him, which he obviously thinks he can, then that's another player that can add attacking prowess to this team with a number 9/10 in the middle. That they should catapult to the next level. I'll be astounded if they didn't buy one. I would be astounded. If I'm a Man United fan, I'm fuming if they don't go. If they opt for Weghorst because he's cheap, I would be absolutely gutted.
Did you see Ten Hag's dance moves, Tank? You know when we talk about me being rigid, that was him doing those dance moves was pretty much the level of
you see
my
Keane?
dancing.
Roy Keane should resign.
He's brilliant, isn't he? Absolutely brilliant. I'll stay with you, Tank, because I want to talk about Graham Potter. Great. There's rumours now that there was a lot of noises coming out that he was fully backed by the board. They were giving him time. There's now rumblings that it looks like the next 2 games could be telling for Graham Potter. his time at Chelsea, he has a 27% win percentage. Now, in any walk of life, in any team, doesn't matter of the level, that is shocking form. When you couple that with the amount of money that they've spent, there's automatically going to be vultures circling. Is it unfair what's happened to him? Because there's two parts of this for me. Yes, the results have been poor, but he's basically just been had players thrown at him, and I don't believe for a second that he wanted half of them. I think the owner has just gone, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one, like a kid in a candy store, and he's gone, now make it work. Go and chuck them into a team and make it work. It's been for the guy, it actually makes me a bit sad for the guy who's deserved this chance at a big club, and no disrespect to the teams that he was at prior. For it to happen in the way that it has, it's kind of left a little bit of a bitter taste, because the football romantic in us was like, fair play to him. He's built his way up. He's got his shot, and it's just gone terribly wrong for him, hasn't it?
I think you've hit the nail on the head when you said the amount of players they have signed. He's not signed them.
Yeah.
I think I posted something in our WhatsApp chat when he signed Fernandez, and you could tell. I said to you, he's not signed him. That's not his signing. Because I've been a coach with Mickey at Trammy with League Two, and when you've got that many players, which we did have, it's so difficult, lads. Honestly, if you've got, I think I read this morning that you've got 33 outfield players at the minute. It's like, and they've got quite a large injury list still. If you've got that many players, it's your training sessions and your coaching ability is really limited, unless you just say to, ideally you want 18 to 22 maximum. So if you've got 33, what you need to do is just say to 12 or 14, fuck off with the kids. But you can't.
What does that do to the mood in the camp if you start doing that?
But then it has a knock-on effect everywhere, because then, Chelsea's academy's got a fantastic reputation. The top draw. But if you're putting 14 international footballers to train with the under-23s, well, then that just decimates the under-23s. And then the 23s have got to drop down to train with the 18s. And then the 18s, this is the effect it actually has. The 18s, some of them are going to have to go and play for the under-16s. And the knock-on effect can be like, it can be fucking shocking. So I solely put this down to the owner. I put this down to the owner and this is on him. Graham Potter is an outstanding coach. He's an absolutely outstanding coach. And it's a bit similar to when I was shouting for the Forest manager. I hope to God they stick with him and just give him his chance and give him his time. The season's finished for Chelsea. Talk about Liverpool's problems. Chelsea's got fucking major problems with numbers, but lads, they've got some squad as well. They have got some squad, but I fear for him. I'm not too sure that the fans, I mean, he's had death threats and everything on email, which is fucking disgusting, but I fear the worst for him. I hope to God he comes through, because I do think he's a good guy.
Yeah, this is I think Tank just touched on it there, Jim. My next point, which was going to be, I'd love to see him given time, but once the fans turn, you've seen this with so many clubs. Seen it most recently with Everton. There was one that comes to mind with Rafa Benitez, for example. They never quite took to him, and I kind of feel like it's something similar in some degree, and that maybe he wasn't of the stature that the Chelsea fans felt that he should have been. And I just think it's going to be very, very difficult for him to. I feel it just feels like he's on borrowed time, unfortunately, doesn't it?
I was expecting him to go after that. After that result at the weekend, to be honest with you, I thought
you're a Chelsea fan, aren't you, Jim?
Massive Chelsea fan, yeah. So I was expecting him not to be there, but I'm not quite sure if Bowley. We don't know Bowley yet. I saw a funny video where Graham, it was like a meme where Potter's going, "How do you expect me to train 33 players?" And then it pans across and it's like, Bowley, well, I'm going to go sign Neymar, sort of stuff. So that Bowley is
you
just
wouldn't put it past him, to be fair.
This is my point. Like, he's just playing fantasy football, isn't he? And he's just getting all these players in and expecting it to work. And unfortunately, Graham Potter's going to be the fall guy on these rash decisions. So I hope he lasts it, and I hope you're telling his. I don't think he's enjoying it. I don't think he's enjoying it himself. So I think he wouldn't, if the hammer came down on him, I don't think he'd be too disappointed if it upon reflection. But yeah, I hope he gets time and he can turn it around. But I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel because I don't think he knows his best team. You know, this Mudryk came in who looked unbelievable. That Arsenal game can't even get a start now.
He looked unbelievable against Liverpool. And then
was it Liverpool the game?
Yeah,
everyone does it.
Yeah. Well, mate,
he's gone Chief Mark Gonzalez. Remember him for Liverpool?
Yeah.
Molded to win.
Yeah,
Right.
or Markovic. Yeah, Markovic is the one for me.
Oh, Markovic.
Yeah. I can see him. I don't know why. I just feel like the Spurs job was tailor-made for Potter. You know what I mean? Daniel Levy is notorious for not spending huge amounts of dough. He would have been given the time. He would have been able to develop the players. And you never know. Look, with Conte being a bit mad, you wouldn't put it past him being out of Spurs in a year or two. You might see Potter there. But before we go, because we've got to do predictions, I want you to tell us how we did in our predictions, Jim. We've also got some listener questions. But before we go to those, Tank, it was a bit of a humbler for Forest at West Ham. I don't think anyone really saw that result coming. No,
it was a strange one, wasn't it? It was just kind of like a bit of a worry for me. It was kind of like the early season where when Forest conceded 1, 2, 3, and 4 followed quite quickly, and I was like, it was a little bit of a worry. And the problem is you've got the other teams down below who've picked up a few little points, and that I still think the bottom 3 now is the bottom 3 that go down. I genuinely think that's the bottom 3. But you'd like to see that. I just didn't like the way Forest folded and rolled over and got 4-0. You can't do that. You can't be in a game. I think it was about 50, 60 minutes, and then 0-0, and then it's all of a sudden it's 4-0. It's not a good sign. But look, they've had a great run, Forest, and they've picked up a lot of points, and we'll be okay. We still finished top 10.
Jimbo, predictions before we go to listeners' questions. How did we do?
Can I just say something? No, Jimmy, I'm a bit concerned about this because I said to you, put our things in the group, and he'll have changed stuff.
Do you think he's up to no good?
I think he's up to no good, mate.
I'll be honest with you. I lost the spreadsheet.
Fuck off. Are you joking?
No. I lost the spreadsheet, so I've been scrambling around to do it. So I've
what do you mean scrambling around to do it? Like listening back to old
just
episodes?
Made the results.
No. Don't forget they're all in the group, aren't they? All the things. So I've got the scores. I've just inputted the scores for this week, so we're up to date now, lads. It was just
Jimbo. You had one job, lad.
Mate, I can't help it if a computer restarts itself and reloads or whatever it does, like the automatic updates, it's proper killed me off.
Computer said no,
but we're in, lads. So this week we all got fairly all right this week.
What was the scores on the doors? Because you didn't actually give us it last on Friday, did he, Tank? He was a bit like, I think you're kind of on...
So I was on 10. Tank was on 13.
No.
You were. And Homo...
I didn't think you were on 10, Jim.
Yeah?
I was on 17. He was on 22.
You weren't on 17.
17 feels generous, Tank.
The week before, you got 1 point.
Jimmy's cheating and Tank are cheating.
The week before, I never got 1 point. The week before, I got Tottenham 2-0. The result.
Nah. Yeah.
Yes.
So the week before...
Pressure's mounting on Jimmy.
I got the right result. Tottenham beat someone at home 2-0.
I was on 8. You were on 9. And Homo was on 17 before that result, right? So I got the right result that took me to 9. You got the correct result that took you to 12.
Yeah.
And then...
You're doing well here, Jim. Come on, keep going.
And then Homo got
So I was on 10.
Yeah.
And I got a 3 points.
Yeah, sorry, 13 you went to.
Yeah. And then I got the Liverpool result right. That's 14.
When? Last week?
We all got the Liverpool result right last week. We all said they'll beat Newcastle.
No, you put Newcastle 2-1, mate.
No, I never.
No, he didn't.
No, I never.
He did.
I didn't because I was proud of him. I was proud of him because he was like, he always says that we're going to get beat, but he said we were going to win.
See what I mean, Jamie? I can't work with this.
Jim, this is like, I'll be honest, mate.
I'm telling you now.
It's not. Wait, let me get it.
You know what he's like here? He's like Matt Hancock. You know when you put him under a bit of pressure?
Lads, if you see that Matt Hancock, he's in more trouble, innit? If you seen him last year in COVID when he's got a Newcastle signed shirt.
Oh, he was meant to give it away for charity or something.
And then he's wearing it yesterday.
Yeah, he had it on.
That fella is an absolute helmet, isn't he? He's just every public appearance, it just gets worse for him. Talking of absolute helmets, Jim, how are you getting on there?
So my fault, but in my haste, when
You know, all your credibility has gone here, yeah.
it's fine. So in my haste, in the group chat, Tanks put 2-1 to Liverpool, but Newcastle are at home, so I put it as a home result. So that's why I did it. So yeah, okay. Now revised. I'm on 14.
Right.
I got 4 points this week.
Okay.
Tank got 3 points this week.
Oh.
Takes him to 17. And Jay, you got 3 points this week, which takes you to 20.
Okay. So what? So we got, says it, the final scores again?
Final scores are 14 for Jim, 17 for Tank, 20 for Homo. There's a 3-point gap in between each of us. Just one correct score. But what I will say is we're not good at this, lads.
I got a coupon up at the weekend.
Yeah, what was your win again? How much did you win?
Only 12 ton. Nice win.
Only 12 ton. And it's funny, we're talking like, oh, put the stakes on, and here's me with me fucking, I put me £5 accumulator on. Bertie Big Spuds over there putting on the big dough, spending all that crypto. Listener questions, boys, to finish, because I know, Jim, you've got to finish, be done soon, right? So first, this was actually asked last week, but it was just after we'd recorded. It's from Brian Burgess, who wants to know, if you were a manager, or maybe Tank, when you were a manager, were you a suit or tracksuit guy on the sideline? And that's to all of us. So I'll start with you, Tank. Were you tracksuit?
It was a tracksuit, yeah.
Would you, if you got back on into the managerial hot seat, would you go suited and booted?
No, I'd be more of a jeans, smart shoes, and jumper type of manager. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't go full suit.
No, Sunday drinks type of vibe.
Yeah, so you get a usual, you're straight out into the fucking pen and wig in Liverpool.
Good old pen and wig. Jimbo, what about you, lad? I'd say you pride yourself on being Graham from The Holiday, don't you? So you'd go a little nice jumper tie type combo.
So
I've got a fucking thing in my head with him. I think he's like a suit with a jumper and a tie and a pair of white Adidas Predators.
That's probably true, to be fair.
Yeah.
Or a captain's armband on over the suit.
Top bins.
An armband.
No, yeah, probably. I'll be the same as Tank, just nice and smart casual. I don't mind a long sleeve sort of button up, like a cotton polo, like all the Scousers wear, like a long sleeve.
Pep lads.
Yeah. I'll be along that. I think suits when you get older, but I wouldn't wear a trackie, no way.
No. I've got one of your polo tops in my wardrobe still, Jim.
Yeah, the maroon one.
Yeah, maroon one, yeah.
Shot that.
Doesn't suit me, mate. It makes me look like Odd Job. Like I've got no neck, you know what I mean? It just doesn't work for me. For the record, I'd be tracksuits all the way. Tracksuits in there with the boys, giving it big Jurgen vibe, standing on the halfway line, staring at
long
the
coat.
opposition.
I like them long coats. I bought one of them long coats myself.
Oh no! Remember Arsene Wenger had one of them, and he looked.
Yeah,
like
but he's old though, isn't he? He's old.
Good Wenger to
I was gonna say
he's balding on fucking weirdo, isn't he, Wenger? He's got no legs. He just used to float in that coat.
It was, yeah. It made me very uncomfortable. Mark Garrett wants to know, what points do you expect to win the league this year? And for context, he thinks it'll be around 85, which would mean Man United would pretty much need to win every game from now on if they were to be considered a true title challenger. He believes they are a good side at best and will probably finish in and around the 75 points mark. Jimbo, what are you thinking?
I don't fucking know, mate. Like, I go into that much detail that whatever they wins the league. Whoever's top wins the league, mate. I'd say around what's it been? It's been like, what was it last year? Because that was a low one, wasn't it? I know it's been around 90 odds, and 85, 83 points will probably win you the league. But I think the season's getting worse, if I'm being honest. Arsenal are struggling, City are struggling, Liverpool are awful, United have got this good run of form. I think
legs are looking heavy on a few of the ones at the top now, aren't they? I
think it'll be a low season. I think it'll be one of them, like, that Leicester won it on 70 odd points or whatever it was.
does my head in that this always happens when Liverpool go shit. Like Liverpool for 4 years, I've had to like basically be unbeaten for 4 seasons, and we've got one title during COVID to show for it. It's genuinely heartbreaking. What do you think, Tank?
It was mad. Just the standards they set. Though was like a draw was fucking the worst result in world football for Liverpool or City at the time. If you draw, that's it, title over. I think it's going to be 75 to 82 points to win the league this season. I don't think it's going to take a great amount because the teams are dropping points a lot.
Yeah, that's it. You're seeing it now. Like I was watching Newcastle there. Like you're looking at the race for top 4. I was still thinking this with Liverpool hat on. Like Newcastle's legs are falling off a little bit. It's very difficult with the size of their squad to keep going time and time again, and the style of play, because they're an intense team, but it catches up with you. Mentally, it takes its toll. It'll be interesting to see the reaction after the cup final. I don't think Spurs are good. I just watched them and I'm not impressed with them. You never know which team are going to show up. I think United, City and Arsenal are comfortably ahead of the rest. Yeah. But to be honest, for top 4, it could be anyone at this stage because none of them look great, to be fair.
You know what though, Jamie? I had this with my mate the other day just on Liverpool, and I actually I slaughtered Klopp over this, and I was like, I think any man or his dogs can see Liverpool are not going to win the Champions League this season. Even before we got Real Madrid, we're not in the form to win the Champions League. You know, the likes of Napoli, Man City, even the likes of Borussia Dortmund, and you know, just to name a few, are way ahead of where we are at the minute.
You're going to say you should be prioritising top 4?
Personally, me, I think that Crystal Palace away, knowing that the other teams above had dropped a few points, for me, that was the biggest game of Liverpool's season, that. And to risk Núñez against, who was already struggling, because I don't care what anyone says, take Núñez out of this Liverpool side, and we are not the same side. We're not the same side. So why risk him against Real Madrid and then lose him? Do you know what I mean, for the Crystal Palace game? I feel if he plays against Crystal Palace, Liverpool win that game.
I agree.
He's that important to us. And it's kind of like, I'd fucking rest players at Real Madrid away. It's gone. Don't risk them. You've got to go all out for top 4. I still don't think we'd get it. But I just think Klopp needs to just, put his big boy pants on and say, that's gone, we're fucked, that's over, it's finished. Even if we won and got back, we'd still get knocked out the next round.
Do you know, I see what you mean. I would say going into that Real Madrid, you never know with this competition. We've had an absolutely terrible team in the past, mate, and gone on to win it. And Liverpool do strange things in this tournament that literally defy logic. So I think going into the first leg, I think it makes sense to go for it. I think now you're looking at it going, we got to take our medicine here. Like, you know what I mean? Damage limitation exercise. But then at the same time, you don't want to be putting out not a great team and then getting hockeyed again. So it's a tough one. But I think Liverpool shouldn't be in the position that they're in. I think they've mismanaged the season terribly for lots of different reasons. But the slight glimmer of hope that I do have is they all seem to be as bad as each other at the minute. And you don't really fancy any of them to put a run together. So if they can somehow muster up a 3 or 4 wins back to back, it would change the picture. But as you said there, without Núñez, they do look very, very blunt.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's mad how football goes full circle. Right, last question, because Jim has to go, right? Johnny wants to know, and I love this question. If you were in the WWE, what would your entrance music be and what would your outfit be?
Oh, God.
The WWE, is that like the way?
So wrestling, the wrestling. So you're a wrestler. You know, you remember like the Ultimate Warrior back in the day where he'd leg in and shake the fucking.
I used to genuinely believe that my dad was the Ultimate Warrior. I used to think he'd go at the weekend and go.
He'd nip the shop for some petrol, and that's when he turned into Ultimate Warrior.
never came back again.
Remember Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
Yeah. Was he that one?
That's Jimmy.
No, he's the one with a 2x4, yeah.
Yeah, the big wood, big boz-eyed Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Entrance money. I don't know. Fucking hell, that's one. I need a bit of time of planning on that. Jesus.
You've got to be looking at Rocky tunes. Hearts on Fire is an absolute fucking belter. Like, let's be honest.
See, I think my entrance song would be Belinda Carlisle. I think you're alone now because you're going in there to fight on your own.
Belinda Carlisle was a plot twist I did not see coming. I'd be wanting to go for the pint.
What's that band? You know that song? She fucking hates me. That one, I go in with that. Like, 'cause I'd be a bad guy, so I'd be like all bad guyed up, whether like or leathers and or leather chaps.
Whoa, hello. Fucking
What's just going on
feel
here?
all right here, Jim.
Shit.
So
Anything
yeah,
you
that
want
would
to
be,
tell us?
yeah, I'm dead bad. Yeah, so that'll be me, lad. just
Jimmy's
coming
wearing
in.
leathers and he wants everyone to hate him. Tank's
Yeah.
going Belinda Carlisle. What's your outfit going to be, Tank?
It's got to be
You got
online.
Tank. It's got to be something related to
Anyway,
a tank.
what do you mean? If Tank was in the WWE, he's retired. He was a Doink the Clown.
Doink the clown. For fuck's sake.
that little clown.
You've got it. Like if your nickname's Tank, you got it. It's got to be like
Army.
something tank related,
Yeah.
army related, or something.
Like,
Sure.
what was his name? There was Sergeant Slaughter. That's you, Tank. Sergeant Slaughter, lad.
There you go. I've never heard of him. See, I used to watch back in the day with fucking Hulk Hogan and all them.
Sergeant Slaughter was with Hulk Hogan. He's old
I
school.
have to Google him, Jimmy. No, I don't remember
You
him.
will remember him. You will.
I used to love the wrestling, like the Ultimate Warrior and all of that.
Ultimate
Jake
Warrior
the
was
Snake.
the man.
Was it Jake the Snake?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jake the Snake
When
Roberts.
When Macho Man set the snake on, when Jake the Snake set the snake on Macho Man's arm. Oh, mate, that was the one. Do you remember that?
Don't get that. But have you
The
seen it now?
Undertaker.
Like, yeah, Undertaker was a beast. He's still knocking around now as well. The Undertaker.
Is it the same one?
Yeah, he's still the same fella. Yeah.
Still alive.
Yeah.
Now he must be about 70.
Yeah, it looks well, to be fair to him. But yeah, no, that was absolutely class back in the day. And I used to get all the figures, but randomly like bite their head, like I'd like chew them. So, like,
All right,
anyway,
mate.
I don't know. Sorry. Anyway, my song would be. See, I can only think of like songs that get me up for footy.
But you shouldn't listen to them. You keep getting fucking
I
sent
know.
off.
I know. I just need to try something else.
What listen to Belinda
Try
Carlisle?
Belinda Carlisle, lad.
Do you know what's a great tune? "Fucking in the Bushes" by Oasis. If you know that one. It's like that's festival on you, bastard. You go to hell.
That's just an instrumental, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I want people
Yeah,
to
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
get
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the feet and be
No,
ready
that's
to
fine.
go. Like, or "Go in the Distance." Rocky. Is that the one that's like down? I'm not going to do any more. Anyway, "Go in the Distance," Rocky. And my outfit would be.
Mate, if you're not wearing pants, you're lying to us all.
You've got to get the bod out. You got to
You're
get
getting
the
the
bod out.
bod out.
Baby
You're wearing
oil.
pants, lad. You are wearing
Pants.
Baby oil. Jim's in leather. We are having an absolute ball here. The lot of us. Right, lads. That's a lot from us. Everyone that's listening, keep listening. Keep being sound. Keep sending us your messages, your feedback. Tell your mate. I've seen that people have left us some more feedback and reviews, so thank you for those that have. If you haven't, can you? Because it helps the podcast. But more importantly, just keep spreading the word. We're growing week by week. And actually, do you know what? It's just great to know that people are enjoying it. So keep your feedback coming. Get involved on the social media during the week and have a laugh with us. And then keep these questions coming because who doesn't want to talk about WWE baby oil?
WWF.
Anyway.
WWF.
WWF. Anyway, enjoy your week. Look after yourselves, and we'll be back with you on Friday on the Boot Room podcast. All the best.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, guys.